clearing the overburden. So as you can see, we are in the forest, which means there's a good 6 to 8 inches of leaf litter, topsoil, seeded stuff like sticker bushes, things like that, that are all mixed in. So the first thing you have to do is clear all that off. As you can see back here, I've got some decent sized piles, and I'm moving the piles around the area where I know I'm going to fill in the future. That's basically the first step. You got to scrape that down. You got to get that topsoil out of there, because you end up with essentially something that's just going to grow a lot of plants out of it. I'll get the easy way to see that right over there. Let's go over there real quick and take a look and see. You can see what I'm talking about. Oh, and we've got ants. We've got thatching ants. Everybody calls them fire ants here, but they are not fire ants. They are thatching ants. That's what these are. They got a black butt and a red head, a red top on them. They're not all red like fire ants. They do bite, but I've never noticed them to have poison or toxin or anything like that. Okay, so the easy way to differentiate, just by looking at it, you can see how much darker the topsoil is compared to this stuff down here. This stuff down here does not grow really anything in it. If you took all this dirt and then you just put this in your garden, you'd be having a hell of a time. Everything on this top is where everything is going to grow. This is where all the goodies are for your plants. Whatever plants you're trying to grow, get that stuff and it'll work. But as you can see, hard to tell because I'm coming in and out of the sun, so let me get to a spot where we can look at it. I'm clearing out these straight runs here. I've got one here, I got one right there, then I got one back there. I got these 3 straight runs. I got them stripped down and sort of level. The goal isn't to get them perfect. If I had a grader, I probably would grade them a bit and get them flat, but getting them perfectly flat isn't the most important thing. I can get them pretty darn flat, but getting everything scraped off the top and getting them sort of flattened out is what you really want. Then the next step is this. This here is a broken quarry stone. Spall rock is what it is called. S-P-A-L-L, I believe. That is the spelling. I thought there was a D on the end of it the other day, thusly pointing out how sometimes I'm a dum-dum. But spall, not spalled. I always thought it was spalled rock. But this is what they call between 2 and 4 and 4 and 8. So this is like a 2 inch by 4 inch right here. 4 and 8 right here, and everything in between. This is going to be the next layer that we're going to put down on the ground, and I'm doing that with the tractor right now. The tractor isn't exactly the perfect tool to get this done. A loader or something like that would work a lot better, but we use what we got. We have to use the tractor because it's the helping hand that we got. So we're going to run around, we're going to do some more work here with the tractor, and we're just going to keep hammering away. The third layer will be this, which is what's called 5/8 minus. You can see that. It's crushed rock. 5/8 is generally the biggest it's supposed to be. You know, the biggest you'll find it is kind of like this, mixed with fine dust and sand, and it's generally isn't this limestone? I think this is the limestone mixed with basalt that they have from around here. But mix those on the top layer, and then we're going to mix those on the top layer, and then we're going to pound that flat with a gigantic vibrator, the biggest vibrator you've probably ever seen, unless you do construction, and then you'll be like, yeah, I've seen that before. Typically, what you would do this with is a steam roller. If you guys don't know, steam rollers vibrate as they go by. I don't think a lot of people realize that the steamrollers are vibrating while they steamroll. But we don't have that kind of money. We don't have that kind of money to get a steamroller out here to roll the thing out. So we're going to hand vibrate the top layer in and set these in, vibrate these in, and then put the 5/8 minus on top, vibrate that in, and we're going to be pretty good for probably 10 or 15 years before things start to kind of degrade a little bit and we could consider doing something else. But hopefully by then we would just consider doing some asphalt pads. And but right now asphalt pads are going to cost a lot of money, so we're not going to do that right now. But in the future, if the gravel does start to degrade a little bit and we do decide to do some asphalt pads, it'll actually be really easy for the asphalt guys to come in and lay that over top, essentially, right? But for now, we don't need that kind of luxury. We just need a cleared driving area and for parking for the RVs. So that's what we're working on today. And let me go shoot some B-roll while driving a tractor. Okay. That's kind of what I got. It's kind of what I got for you at the moment. I'll think of some more stuff. Tractor, hit the rock. We're back, and as you can see, the sun is over there now, which, that's what happens as the day goes along. And as you can see, I've got oodles and oodles of rock under my feet and over this way. So we've got two of the RV pads. This is the underlayment, okay? The underlayment is complete. So we did first the earthwork, strip off the upper layer, right? You can see over here. Get down to the dirt, get everything up, pack that down. Check, check. Then come back with the spall rock, spread that out. Now we're going to have to vibrate that. Now that might happen tomorrow if the rental place has what's called an earth compactor. It's basically a gigantic vibrator. It's a vibrator for the earth, okay? About 60% of the population knows what I was talking about just there. You know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, we're going to compact these spall rocks down. Then the next step, the 5/8 crushed rock will go on there, which will probably be dropped sometime in the next week or 2 or 3 or whenever. I'll make a follow-up video for when we do that portion. Because it ain't happening this weekend, and we do have we have a week-long vacation in between working on this and till the next time we come back. So it's probably going to be 3 weeks until we come back here to work on putting in all the gravel, basically. Now the reason for having these big rocks in here at the bottom, I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. It's essentially a stable platform and drainage, right? So it's doing two things. One, we're putting down this bigger rock that has a lot less opportunity to move around, shift, and when it shifts against itself, the two pieces of rock. As you know, we are in Washington State. where it rains a lot. So the last thing we want is a long period of rain and then a long period of freezing with zero drainage, right? Zero drainage in those situations means frozen ground water sitting on the ground, freezing, and then when it freezes, it expands. All that compaction that you did gets broken up when that happens. So we're going to avoid that and mitigate that by putting down this big old spall rock down here. Now, it is, to some people, this is an extra step. Sure. This whole load of rock was $400. The gravel, I'm not sure how much the gravel is going to be. It's probably be similar, probably $500, something like that. I don't know. We'll find out when we get the bill for that. Luckily, this is being sponsored. This is being sponsored by Vicky's dad, because he is part owner or main owner of this property. So he said, hey, if you guys are going to do that, just let me know how much it costs. I'll just reimburse you guys for the materials that you guys are putting into the property. So it's a win-win. We do a little bit of sweat equity, and the property gets improved, and everybody's happier, and everybody gets to use it more. So as I kind of showed you a walk around earlier, it's pretty wild. It's a pretty much a jungle here, and if you don't, if things aren't being cleared, it's generally going to just be very difficult to be using it. We may have had no audio. I don't know if we had no audio, but we'll find out the hard way if we had none. But anyhow, this part of the project is complete. Time to put away the tractor and some other stuff, and then have some dessert, because we had dinner. I didn't film the dinner because I was hungry. But overall, this project is improvement for the family, and it's also my hopes in the future is to be doing little events here. Honestly, if the fish community could come here for a camping thing, I think that would be a lot of fun. One of the downsides is that it's a dry camp. I would just ask people to just not bring their alcohol with them, So anyhow, family friendly, I guess. So for the downside, that's a downside for a lot of people. They'd be like, I don't want to go camping if there's no beer or no liquor. But you know how it is. All right. That's it for this portion. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully vibrating the earth. We'll see.